So there, kids, today you're going to learn how to derive an equation, deriving process, no, involving addition or subtraction. In this case, these are equations that look like this: x plus 3 equals 7, something like that alone. And involving multiplication, such as you will be able to see coefficients along with our variable, which is x in this case, such as 3x equals 21, something like that. Okay, so again, when that involves addition or subtraction, it basically just looks like that, in which x is alone. So multiplication naman, you can see that there's a coefficient with x, which is in this case is 3. First few topics natin yan, the moment we started our classes in grade 6. Sa division naman, it is either expressed as it's basically just expressed as a fraction, such as for example x over 2 equals 4. So, ang first na i-learn nyo muna for now is itong dalawa. 1, 2. Kasi yan ang mga pinaka-basic. Okay? But we are going to deal with it first one by one. So, addition and subtraction muna tayo. Okay, deriving using the addition, or if you are going to experience, if you see an addition or subtraction sentence where x is just alone, okay, walang coefficient, like the multiplication, may 3, di ba? So, again, sa addition and subtraction, let us use that given example, x plus 3 equals 7. Okay, so we have x plus 3 equals 7. So, if you notice, no, basically, mathematically, there's really a way for you to solve this, to work around it, no? And as far as our topic is concerned, there are two ways to do this. Pero yung two ways na yan are actually related. Okay? One is yung elimination. And the other one is transposition. Actually, they are just the same. Like literally, parehas lang talaga sila. Elimination and transposition. It's just that sa elimination process, it shows you the real way of doing it, while transposition is the shortcut on doing it. Pero before ko i-explain sa inyo yung elimination and transposition, let me show you muna the logical way, okay? The logic behind solving mga equations na to, since they are less complicated, okay? Kasi kung titignan nyo, x plus 3 equals 7, basic lang naman talaga yan. It gets complicated once you'll see bigger numbers na. Okay? So, in this case, yung logical way muna tayo. X plus 3 equals 7. It's as easy as saying, what are you going to add with 3 that will give you 7? If you're going to add 1 sa 3, is 1 plus 3 equals 7? No. Obviously not. Is 2 plus 3 equals 7? 2 plus 3 is 5. So, hindi pwede. Is 3 plus 3 equals 7? No, it is not. 3 plus 3 is 6. And finally, 4 plus 3 equals 7. So, correct na yan in this case. So, this is the logical way of solving it. No? Logic lang talaga eh. Basic lang siya. Ganyan na talaga yan siya. It's just that in this case, we need to learn how to solve it algebraically. Okay? So, tanggalin natin tong logic way of solving it. Madali lang siya, kung tutuusin. So, sa elimination process, what is elimination process? So, yung sa elimination process, this is quite similar to what you did with the last week's activity. That's why I told you, last week's activity is basically an introduction to what we are going to do this week. So, through the elimination process, separate natin ha, kasi there are two ways, like what I've said. Elimination process, rewrite ko lang po that x plus 3 equals 7. And if you notice that x is alone in one side of the equation and x plus 3 is equivalent to 7. The equal sign separates both sides, 'di ba? If you can still remember yung sinasabi ko always. Okay. So this means that since x is with 3, you want to leave x alone in one side of the equation, which means you want to remove this positive 3. So just like what you did with last week's activity, yung sa angles, no? Yung sa equating, yung may equation tayo that is equivalent to 180 degrees and 360 degrees. Solving for the, solving for the, for angles along a straight line and a full circle. Okay, so to remove the value of positive 3, you just need, like what we did last week, you just need to subtract the same exact value. Okay? Para ma-eliminate natin ang positive 3 on that side of the equation. And what you do in one side of the equation, you should also, since nag-minus 3 kayo dito, you should also minus 3 on this side of the equation. Okay? What you do in one side of the equation should also be done on the other side of the equation. So in this case, x plus 3 minus 3, cancel na yan, wala na, eliminated na yan. So we now have x alone, which is equivalent now to 7 minus 3. And like what our answer is earlier, yung sa logical way of answering it, x equals 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is equivalent to 4. Ganun lang kadali. Ba? Kasi nga, like you already did this last week along with the example last time. Okay. So ngayon sa transposition naman, this is basically the same. It's just that ginagawa natin yung shortcut. Transposition refers to transferring a certain value to the other side of the equation. So you want to leave x alone in one side of the equation and you want to transfer this positive 3 to the other side of the equation. Okay. There's a golden rule here naman sa transposition. When you transpose, you change the sign to its opposite value. Okay? You change the sign to its opposite value. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Ibig sabihin, getting the value again, rewriting it, x plus 3 equals 7. Extend ko lang yung line. Which means in this case, you want to transfer positive 3 to the other side of the equation. Doing so, if you're going to transfer it to the other side of the equation, which is 3 nga, di ba? Take its opposite sign. Its sign here is positive. Once you're going to transfer it to the other side of the equation, it should now be equivalent to negative. Okay? So, doing so, x equals 7 minus 3, which is equivalent to 4. Okay? So, kung makikita nyo, transposition is the shortcut. Elimination process basically shows us why or how it became negative or minus 3. Okay? Kasi nga, with the simple rule as what you do in one side of the equation, you should also do it on the other side of the equation. Okay? So, more examples tayo. Extend ko lang yung line. Just to show both both ways of solving. So, in this case, we are now going to solve for, ano ba? X minus 5 equals 10. So, we have x minus 5 equals 10. So, dito na nga, x minus 5 equals 10. Dito is the elimination process and the other side is transposition. So, how do you do this in the elimination process? X minus 5. If you notice, it's minus 5. So, to eliminate it, all you need to do is just to add the same value. Kasi nga, minus to. So, what you do is to add as well the same value because negative 5 plus 5 will give you 0. Or rewriting them the other way around, that's 5, positive 5 minus 5 is equivalent to 0. And equating it to 10, and what you do in one side, do it on the other side of the equation as well. So which means if nag plus 5 tayo on this side of the equation, we should also plus 5 on this side of the equation. Which now basically cancels everything here. Kasi nga 0 na yan siya. And now x is equivalent to 10 plus 5, which is equivalent to 15. Okay. So dito naman tayo ngayon sa transposition method. How do we get the value of x in this case? X minus 5 is equivalent to 10. And what you do here nga, you want to leave x alone, so which means you want to transfer this value to the other side of the equation. So doing so, like what I said earlier, this is easier. 10, and you just write 5 muna dun sa kabila. Kasi nga, you need to investigate its sign. So in this case, it is minus. What is the opposite of minus? Once you transfer to the other side of the equation, it becomes positive or plus. So now you have x plus 5, x equals 10 plus 5, in which 10 plus 5 is equivalent to 15. So the same. Okay? So ganun lang yan. So that is how you deal with equations where there is addition or subtraction involved. Ngayon naman, how do you involve with equations where there is a coefficient? So in this case, coefficient natin is, let's say 2x, write ko muna pala dito. Involving multiplication na to ha. This is deriving an equation involving multiplication. Kanina, addition or subtraction yun. Okay. So, kunwari, you have 2x equals, let's say, 12. So, the logical way of this, okay, logical, ibig sabihin yung kahit walang equation. 2x equals 12. You should know, of course, that 2x refers to 2 times x. 2 multiplied to a number. 2 multiplied to a certain number, that will give you 12. Okay? 2 times blank is equals to 12. What are you going to multiply with 2? That will give you 12. So logically, you should know that the answer is 6. Without even doing this complicated math. Diba? 2x equals 12, in which x is unknown. And what should you multiply with 2 so that it will give you 12? So in this case, x is equivalent to 6. Now, paano natin isosolve yan in a mathematical, algebraically? How do you solve that algebraically? So let's get the equation again. 2x equals 12. Again, the same lang din ang purpose natin dito. You want to leave x on the other side of the you want to leave x alone on one side of the equation. So in this case nga, it's 2x. Okay. So you want to leave x alone. Kaso nga lang, may kasama siyang, which is, in this case, is 2. And kanina, sa mga examples natin, the relationship between the variable x and its partner in this case is, they involve positive or negative lang. Okay? Positive or negative. Dito naman ngayon, it's multiplication because it's 2x. It is a coefficient right now. So how do we eliminate this? Paano natin to tatanggalin? Okay, this process is called cancellation. Okay? The process involved in multiplication is cancellation. Okay, process involved here is cancellation. Ano yung ika-cancel natin? Are you going to cancel x? Of course not. You don't want to cancel x, but you cancel the coefficient. How do you cancel x? How do you cancel the coefficient? By simply writing the same value as the coefficient. So since our coefficient is 2, you should also write 2 as well. So in this case, kina-cancel natin yan. What is the golden rule sa math? What you do in one side of the equation, you should also do that on the other side of the equation, which is in this case, since nag-divide kayo dito by 2 or over 2, you should also do it on the other side of the equation. Okay. So what's left now is x equals 12 over 2. And what is 12 over 2? 12 over 2 is also written or can also be written as 12 divided by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. So in this case, our answer is 6. Just like how we did it earlier. sa logical process. Correct? Okay, makes sense. Let's try another one. Let's say we have 4x equals 48. Okay, 4x equals 48. Then again, the relationship between x and the somehow other value is multiplication. So which means in this case, you're going to do the process of cancellation. So since wala tayong addition or subtraction dito, multiplication lang, cancellation kaagad ang gagawin natin. So again, logically, what are you going to multiply with 4? That will give you 48. Diba? So if you know your multiplication facts, you will be able to get this immediately. If hindi na kaya ng multiplication facts, so most likely, mahirapan na tayo. So you should do the trial and error to solve that. So anyway, going back, 4x equals 48. So i-erase ko muna to. You want to leave x alone in one side of the equation, which means you want to get rid of 4. Since multiplication nga yung relationship, you just cancel it by simply dividing it by the same value as the coefficient. And what you do in one side of the equation, since nag-divide tayo by 4 on one side of the equation, you should also divide the other side by 4. So which now leaves us with 48 over 4. Now, knowing your multiplication facts, you should know that 48 divided by 4 is 12. Okay? So that's basically how you solve this, no? Involving basic lang yan, involving addition, subtraction, and multiplication alone. Okay? The next topic after this one will be the combined version of these two. Combined na yan ang positive and negative and along with multiplication. Okay? So for now, this is all that you have to learn.